Hey, what's going on? This is Andre Sweeney, the Life Specialist. Welcome to the Get a Life Show, the show that gives you the tools and principles necessary for an outstanding life. Today's segment is called Life Nuggets, and today I want to talk to you from the subject 11 rules that they will not teach your children in school. Now listen, these 11 rules are not mine. They come from Bill Gates, who is a billionaire, so I believe that he probably knows a little bit of what he's talking about. But I wanted to share them with my Get a Life audience because I believe these are good rules and good principles that will help our young people. And as parents, you can make sure that they're taught these things because they're not going to teach them in school. Alright, let's go. Rule number 1. Life is not fair, so get used to it. This is a great one. Listen, remember when you were a kid and you saw someone get an ice cream cone, so your parents got you one because they wanted you to feel okay about it? Or maybe your sister got a particular gift, and because your parents was out, they knew they couldn't come home and not give you one, so they gave you one too? Well, let me tell you this. Life is not like that. People around you will get things, purchase things, buy things, be a part of things, have things happen to them, and you will not participate at all. That's life. Just because someone gets a new car doesn't mean you're going to get a new car. Just because someone gets a new house doesn't mean you're going to get one. You have to go out there and you have to work for whatever you get. So you need to teach your children from an early age that life is not fair. As a matter of fact, sometimes it's a good principle, even when something happens in front of your child, not to let them get the same thing, just to teach them, hey, sometimes you're not going to be able to get what everybody else gets. Rule number 2. The world doesn't care about your self-esteem. The world will expect you to accomplish something before you feel good about yourself. This is another smart thing to say. Here's the bottom line. People expect for you to produce. They want what they want, and if you don't have it, they don't care about your low self-esteem. They expect for you to have self-esteem when they get there. Bottom line is, when you go to McDonald's and you order a Big Mac, you want your Big Mac the way it's supposed to be made. You want the 3 little pieces of bread. You want the special sauce. You want the lettuce, cheese. You want all of that. The person in the drive-thru, you don't care if they have self-esteem or not. You want your burger. And the world expects you to produce. So you better make sure as a young person, you better make sure as a parent, that you give your child that necessary self-esteem. Because when they get older, the world expects it. My best example of this is Michael Jackson. Talented, brilliant, songwriter, singer, dancer. But when he got older, he didn't have self-esteem. But nobody cared. Only thing they cared about was they thought he was a weirdo for being in the bed with little boys. Talking about, hey, what's wrong with sleeping in the bed with kids? What's wrong with it? No, Michael, we don't care that you didn't have self-esteem. The world expects for you to produce, and produce normally. Rule number 3. You will not make $60,000 a year right out of high school. You will not be a vice president, have a car phone, or a company phone. Listen, right out of high school, you better work. You better expect to pay your dues. You better expect that you're going to have to go out there and find a job like everybody else. A college degree does not guarantee you instant employment. So be ready to work 2 jobs. Be ready to burn the midnight oil. Be ready to go to graduate school and have a second job. Because that's the way life is. Do not expect to graduate from high school and be Warren Buffett the next day. It doesn't work like that. Rule number 4. If you think your teacher is tough, wait till you get a boss. Listen, many of you in school, you trip out when someone says sit down. You trip out when someone tells you to be quiet. You think your teacher is supposed to let you be a moron and get away with it. That's not the way that life is. If you're late for class, they're going to give you detention and send a note home to your mommy. If you're late for work too many times, they're going to fire you behind. If you disrespect your teacher, they're going to have to take it to a certain extent. You might get expelled. You might get detention. If you get smart with your boss, they're going to fire you. The only problem is no one's paying the consumer bill when you get home. If you get smart with your teacher, your mom and dad pays the bills. You get smart with your boss, you're in the dark. Rule number 5. Flipping burgers is not beneath your dignity. Your grandparents had a different word for flipping burgers. It was called opportunity. Young people, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are that you can't work at McDonald's? Who do you think you are that you can't clean some toilets? Who do you think you are that you can't do some quote-unquote menial jobs? Listen, you do what you have to do until you can do what you want to do. Flipping burgers may pay the rent. Flipping burgers may pay the lights and gas. Flipping burgers may do what you need to be done. But you can't have an attitude of, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to settle for that job. You do what you have to do. Until you graduate from school, or until you start your own business, or until you get something in life that says you don't have to work certain jobs, then you are available for any job at any time. Please, get over yourself. This is Andre Sweeney, the Life Specialist, and I'm here to help you get a life.